Hey there, what's up? And welcome back to The Daily Fight. My name is ROBYN TANNER, and I am your host on the fight for your future self. And today, I want to talk to you about the cost of future you, what it's going to take, the price that you're going to have to pay to get a ticket to your future self. Now, I want to take you back to when you were growing up and shopping for school clothes. I always had to make decisions. It was, we have X amount of dollars to spend, and once that's gone, it's gone. So you have to make it count. So you had to always coordinate, and you'd buy so many bottoms and so many tops, and you would mix and match because that would, you could spread it out longer, right? You could get more outfits out of it. You wanted to make sure that you bought, three or four pairs of pants, but then you had like 8 tops and it looked like you were getting, 12 different outfits. And then there's always this, you had the 2 that you were holding up, right? Like you had the 2 outfits and mom or dad was like, which one do you want? We can only get one. And that's what we're going to have to do in life with our time, with our energy, with our money, with the people, with the things that we get to say yes to and the things that we get to say no to. We have to decide how many things can we put together so that we multiply it. And when it comes down to the top 2, where do we go all in? Because I am a go all in kind of gal. I am a plan B is to fully execute plan A, because when we have plan A, B, C, D, E, and F, we never get to actually have future you. And I want to make sure that you are willing to understand the heaviness that it is going to cost you to become future you, because without that, it's ridiculous to think that you're not going to have to pay the price, that you're not going to have to give up some things. And surface level, those things are money and time and attention and energy and focus, because those are activities that you do. And I can tell you right now, the cheapest thing, the cheapest cost will be the money, will be the financial aspect. And while I don't like the word cheap, that will actually be the thing that is the least expensive. And that's the thing that people don't want to part with the most, is the enrollment in the course, the hiring of the coach, the money that it's going to take to invest back into your business, into your education, into mentorships, into programs that are going to help you create and become and ultimately high five your future self. And that's surface level. The things that we really actually have to pay the price on: your narrow-mindedness, your control, your fear, your belief, your self-trust, your family, your friends, your social outings and gatherings, your bedtime, when you wake up, how you treat your body, the food that you eat. All of these things play a role. Are you going to stay a wallflower in life, or are you made for more? And I think that if you're listening to this podcast, you are made for more. You have a voice and a scream inside that is whispering to you every single day that you are meant to walk in a room and start a fire and light it up and affect somebody else in such a positive way that they go into another room and they light it up. But the price of that is heavy, and most people don't want to do the heavy lifting. They don't want to get up early. They don't want to go to bed. They want to stay up and they want to binge watch. They want to count themselves out before they even start. They want to quit before they even begin. You've got so many excuses and so many lies that you're telling yourself of why you can't or why you shouldn't, instead of just actually showing up and doing the thing. So it's going to cost you your narrow-mindedness and your control over these things. It's going to cost you the fact that you think you know, but you really have no idea. And the biggest cost of all is that you actually have to give up the thing. You have to release the outcome. You have to give up the thing that you think that you want in order to actually receive it and get it and obtain it and feel it and experience it and be it. You have to give it up. And where you've got to put most of your attention and energy in is the devotion to it, is showing up for it, is in the trying and the doing and the molding and the refining and the training and the conditioning and all the reps. That is the main heavy bulk of the cost. We think it's time and we think it's money. We even think it's focus. We think that we can't get there because we can't get organized, or we're not productive, or we're procrastinators, and we've labeled ourselves with all kinds of unnecessary labels that really don't matter, because at the end of the day, if your heart is in the right place and you're on the right path, You will eventually get there if you have the resolve and the endurance to keep going to pay these prices. And you're going to have to pay them and ante up a lot, or you will stay a wallflower in life. And I don't think you came here to be a wallflower. So I think if you can give those things up, and if you can devote yourself, and if you can show up ugly and continue to do the work, even if, no matter what, because you believe 1,000% you're going to get there. You're not quite sure where you're going to get, because oftentimes we get to where we're going and we look around and we're like, oh shit, this is not what I want anymore. And that's okay. You got to be okay with that too. That just means that you're not done yet. And we'll talk about being done in a completely different episode, but you've just got to be willing to release the outcome, to release past versions of you that no longer exist anymore and certainly aren't going to serve you moving forward. You have to be able to question and interrogate current you in a manner that doesn't punish her or shame her or embarrass her or put her back up against a wall to where she feels like she has no other choices or it's impossible, but that allows her to open her eyes, to unlearn some things, to have some aha moments. And these breakthroughs don't happen in like a day or a week or whatever. It's a culmination of continuously showing up and being devoted to the thing that you think that you want. It won't be for a lack. It won't be for a lack of not trying, of not showing up, of not putting in hard work, of not effort, because it does take a lot of grit and gumption and rolling up your sleeves. And most people don't want to do that. And that's why they end up regretting and wishing and hoping and staying exactly where they are because of the stories that they're telling themselves. And that's not really the case. The case is that they're not willing to pay the price. They'd rather pay the price somewhere else. And that's with regret. And that's with thinking about it. And then making up a bunch of excuses and using all of that energy to tell yourselves the excuses of why you are not willing to invest in yourself and risk in yourself and bet on yourself. Because at the end of the day, that's what you're doing. This has nothing to do with the coach or the education or the program or the other people or your husband or your wife or your friends or your environment. This is all have to do with self-trust and self-belief and your devotion to you and your devotion to your future you. And I know that might be a hard one to hear. That's the price of becoming and creating and high-fiving, slapping on the back, getting that attaboy that you did the damn thing. So I want you to think about that today. I want you to fight. I want you to hold up the clothes. I want you to hold up the clothes and decide which one do you want more? Which one is the priority? Which one will you wear more? Which one will you use more? Which one is worth the cost? I want you to look at all of the options that you have and lay them out. Do they connect? Do they fit together? In my industry, right? Like we coach, we speak, we write, but some people do events. Some people do workshops. Some people do online programs. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can mix and match. And it's yours for the choosing. You get to choose. You get to pick your outfits for your life. So which ones are worth it to you? Which ones will you get more use out of? Which ones do you need to put more into? And what costs are you not willing to pay? Because you do need to know your non-negotiables. You do need to know like what you're not willing to do. And it's okay. There's some people out there that are like, you must be willing to do everything and you got to work like, 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. And I've been there, done that, got that t-shirt, and it didn't work for me. So what are you willing to go all in? Which costs are you willing to pay? Which ones are you willing to sacrifice and give up and be flexible on? And which ones are you not? So that's important too. So just like when you were a little kid and you had to choose between the outfits and you only were allowed so much, that's life. We only have so much time, so much energy. And yes, some of us only have so much money right now. So where are you willing to invest and bet and go all in and risk on yourself and be devoted to the thing? And which costs are you willing to actually surrender and give up, but still work on daily and fight for them, knowing and believing with all of your heart that at the right time and at the end of the right path, it will be yours. If it's meant to be yours, it's going to be yours, but you got to fight for it. And you got to be willing to pay those costs. So I hope this helps somebody today with a different perspective or a shift or just to kind of audit and interrogate the cost that you're willing to pay and you're not willing to pay. Thanks for tuning in to the Daily Fight. Check back daily. I hope that you'll follow along on the adventures. I hope that you'll help grow this community and share and rate the podcast. Drop down in the show notes, get yourself some free resources, and make sure that you join our community and follow along on social media. And let me know. Send me your questions and your comments about the prices that you're paying that you're not willing to pay for your future you. Peace out.